morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities regular board meeting of April 23rd, 2025. If we could rise for the flag salute. Commissioner, you start us off.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Madam Secretary, will you please read the public notice?
Good morning. Adequate public notice has been given pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice has been posted at the board's office and website and emailed to the Department of State, into newspapers of board circulation within the state.
Thank you. Can we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Crystal DeLune.
Here.
Commissioner Abdu.
Here.
Commissioner Bange.
Here.
And President Roosevelt.
Here. And our next public meeting is?
The next regular board meeting will be held on Wednesday, May 21st, 2025. It will be a hybrid meeting in person at the board hearing room at 44 South Plain Avenue in Trenton and live streaming on YouTube.
Thank you. And in addition to our regular and consent agendas, we will have an executive session today. I also want to note that we have a late starter on the agenda. It will be presented at the end. Just a few remarks from me and perhaps my colleagues to open the day. I first want to acknowledge everyone's holidays from the last week, Easter and Passover, for the last couple of weeks, and hope everyone had a joyous and peaceful holiday and time off if they needed it. Also, yesterday was Earth Day, which is an opportunity to recognize all of the important work being done to protect our environment in the state of New Jersey. But I in particular want to acknowledge the DEP Forest Fire Service right now. There's a significant forest fire happening in the state, and the DEP Forest Fire Service and the local fire departments are fighting to contain that fire and really risking their lives to do that. So I just want to acknowledge and say that those first responders are in all of our thoughts. We know that because of climate change, forest fires around the world, but even in New Jersey, are happening more frequently. And last night I spoke to Commissioner Latourette from the DEP, and he let me know that there is a 3,000% increase in the number of forest fires this year from the same time last year, which is really frightening. And it is putting the lives of these first responders at risk. And so it's so important that we, continue to do everything we can to mitigate climate change and to keep those firefighters and first responders in our thoughts. I also want to acknowledge our own reliability and security team, who have been really great in coordinating with DEP and all of the emergency management staff in the state to keep us up to date. There were some utility impacts because of these forest fires. I want to acknowledge JCP&L in particular for their collaboration with the team, with the DEP Forest Service. They have been really helpful. They've had to de-energize. I think there were about 25,000 customers out as a result. And so I just want to acknowledge all of the work that everyone is doing to keep the residents of New Jersey safe, to help to contain the fire, and hopefully we'll get those individuals back online as soon as possible and as soon as it is safe to do that. So thank you for everyone who's doing that work. It's also Underground Damage Prevention Month, so another shout out to our reliability and security team and Frank Gaffney. It's really important, everything that you're doing to keep the state safe, so thank you, Frank, very much. We have some new staff. It's always exciting to acknowledge new staff, and no one is leaving as far as I've been told, so net gain. And so I just want to acknowledge that if you could stand up when I say your name, just wave, let folks know who you are so they can come find you when they need something later. So these staff members are in the Division of Clean Energy. We have Hunter Griffin, Hunter if you could stand, Isabel Molina, and Alexis Tibbs. Welcome everybody. We always talk about BPU being a family. My predecessor, Joe Fiordaliso, often talked about the family of the BPU. I feel the same way. It's a wonderful place to work. The staff are the greatest staff in the whole state, in state government. And so I'm so appreciative and so excited for you to be joining us. Good luck to you. That's all for me. Opening remarks from my colleagues.
Okay. Thank you, Madam President. I just want to recognize our staff also. It's Admin Day, I believe today, so we could just thank you for all your hard work you do, our admins. Thanks.
Thank you.
If I may, Madam President, thank you very much. And everyone, thank you so much for being here today. And I hope you were able to enjoy the Passover and Easter celebrations. Those special holidays remind us once again that hope springs eternal from the faith and powers that are far above us. It gives us purpose to our efforts, comfort to our lives, and knowledge that in the long run, we'll be just fine. But here at the BPU, we're concerned about the near term and the immediate term. And these are very uncertain times. It will come as no surprise that the global economy is experiencing a series of significant shocks, and that more locally, we are burdened with upward pressures on energy prices that are deeply affecting each one of us. As in many crises, it is often a natural reaction to blame people as far away from us as possible. But pointing fingers of blame is counterproductive and oftentimes destructive. No single person, party, organization, corporation, division, or agency is solely responsible or uniquely absolved from this storm that is unfolding before us. But let's not get caught in the winds that are swirling around us. As participants in this critical industry, we must accept our responsibility to the ratepayers of New Jersey, and through that acceptance, find opportunities to make things better on their behalf. Now is the time for all of us within the industry to work together responsibly, to anticipate supply and demand changes so that generation growth exceeds load growth. This is the simple remedy to help all customers, homeowners, businesses, returning industries, and data centers. There is no other long-term solution. We must solve this holistically and inclusively. Shifting burdens between constituencies is a short-term remedy, but not a sustainable policy. Masking symptoms is not a cure. This agency is designed to synthesize a free market system that liberates the invisible hand to accurately reflect production costs and consumer choices. The freedom that encourages competitive forces to innovate their way to lower prices and improve products for all customers. We can't lose sight of our core mission or the need to promote a market structure that will benefit all New Jersey ratepayers. No one can do this alone. We will find ways together to rein in costs and make energy prices affordable once again. It won't happen overnight, but the cause of these increases didn't happen overnight either. We will work on your behalf to put this crisis behind us. That is our objective, and that is our pledge to you as we redouble our efforts to find long-term solutions to the very complicated problems we are all experiencing here in New Jersey and across the PJM region, the largest RTO in the nation. This past week, PJM's President Manu Astana decided to retire and fulfill a promise he made to his wife to spend more time together. His 6 years at PJM were among the most demanding in their century of service, a time when he dealt with the organizational complexities of COVID, the invasion of Ukraine, and a transition to clean energy. Through all that, he was able to tackle these seemingly intractable issues while trying to maintain a balanced approach for their 65 million customers. I share FERC Commissioner Christie's sentiment and would like to thank Manu for his service, leadership, and indefatigable energy. And I would like to wish him all the very best in the future, and that BPU, PJM, and all stakeholders will continue to fight to guarantee reliable and affordable service for all our citizens. I'm looking forward to the future, and I know together we will find solutions to these very difficult problems. Thank you.
Thank you. Hopefully we have some solutions on our agenda today, let's say. Okay. We have an executive session for A, B, C, and 8A through D. I would expect it to be 20 to 30 minutes. And if the Attorney General's office could please explain the justification.
Good morning. Items 4A, 4B, 4C, as well as items 8A, 8B, 8C, and 8D are subject to exception under NJSA 10-4-12, B1 and B7 of the Open Public Meetings Act, as the matters fall within the contract negotiation and attorney-client exception.
So moved?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, we'll see you soon. And we are on to the consent agenda. Madam Secretary.
Yes, the consent agenda items 1A, 1B, 2A, 3A, B, C, and D, and 5A.
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Crystal Delue,
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Page,
Yes.
and President Boothroyd.
Yes. Thank you. All right, regular agenda, 2A. Heidi.
Good morning, Madam President, Commissioners. On November 9th, 2023, Jersey Central Power and Light Company filed a petition with the board seeking approval of infrastructure investment program and associated cost recovery mechanism. On February 7th, 2024, JCP&L amended the petition, thereby reducing its proposed investment level to approximately $930.5 million. Following discovery and several settlement conferences, the company, board staff, New Jersey Division of Rate Counsel, and New Jersey Large Energy User Coalition executed a stipulation of settlement resolving this matter. The 3.5-year program will consist of a capital investment of approximately $202.5 million, which will be eligible for accelerated cost recovery, and an additional $132 million in base spending that may be recovered in a future base rate case. JCP will also maintain annual baseline capital expenditure levels of $200 million per year. The company will recover the revenue requirements associated with the plant placed into service through up to let me start that over.
Take your time.
Got ahead of myself. The company will recover the revenue requirements associated with the plant placed into service through up to 5 rate adjustment filings, consisting of 3 semi-annual filings and 2 annual filings. Staff recommends that the board issue an order approving the stipulation.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? Just a thank you to the staff. Really, I know this was a lot of work, and so appreciate it, all your efforts. So, thanks. Can we have a roll call, please?
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Crystal Delue,
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Page,
Yes.
and President Boothroyd.
Yes. Thank you. 2B, and then some.
Good morning, Madam President and Commissioners.
Good morning.
On July 31st, 2024, Elizabethtown Gas filed a petition seeking review and approval of the company's remediation adjustment clause component of its SBC and related manufactured gas plant costs from July 1, 2023 through June 30th, 2024. Following review of the matter, the parties executed a stipulation resolving the matter. Based on the stipulation, the monthly bill impact on a typical residential customer using 100 therms in a winter month would be an increase of 78 cents. Staff recommends that the board approve the stipulation and direct Elizabethtown to file revised tariff by May 1st.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Crystal Delue,
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Page,
Yes.
and President Boothroyd.
Yes. Thank you. 2C.
On July 31st, 2024, Elizabethtown Gas filed a petition seeking authorization to modify the cost recovery charge associated with its energy efficiency program rider. Following a complete review of the matter, the parties executed a stipulation resolving the proceeding. As a result of the stipulation, a typical residential heating customer using 100 therms in a winter month would see a monthly increase of 87 cents. Staff recommends the board issue an order adopting the stipulation and directing Elizabethtown to file revised tariffs by May 1st.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Crystal Delue,
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Page,
Yes.
and President Boothroyd.
Yes. Thank you. 2D.
On July 31st, 2024, Elizabethtown Gas filed a petition seeking authority to revise the Clean Energy Program component of its societal benefits charge rate and its on-system margin sharing credit. Following a review of the matter, the parties executed a stipulation resolving the petition. As a result of the stipulation, a typical residential heating customer using 100 therms in a winter month will see an increase in the monthly winter bill of 61 cents. Staff recommends the board issue an order adopting the stipulation and directing Elizabethtown to file revised tariffs by May 1st.
So moved?
Second.
Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Crystal Blue,
Yes?
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Baines,
Yes.
and President Boosidoli.
Yes. 2E.
On May 31st, 2024, Elizabethtown Gas filed its annual basic gas supply service and conservation incentive program rate filing. By order dated September 25th, 2024, the board authorized Elizabethtown to modify its BGSS and CIP rates on a provisional basis subject to refund. The parties have now executed a stipulation for final rates, which was approved by Administrative Law Judge Irene Jones. As a result of the stipulation, customers will experience no additional impact on their monthly bills. Staff recommends the board issue an order approving the initial decision and stipulation and directing Elizabethtown to file revised tariffs by May 15th.
So moved?
Second.
Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Crystal Blue,
Yes?
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Baines,
Yes.
and President Boosidoli.
Yes. 2F.
On July 17th, 2023, Jersey Central Power and Light Company filed a petition seeking review of and approval to recover the net deferred costs related to the COVID-19 pandemic and to establish an annually reconcilable charge to recover the prudently incurred costs. Following review of the petition and settlement discussions, the parties executed a stipulation resolving the matter. As a result of the stipulation, a typical residential customer will experience a monthly increase of 28 cents. Staff recommends that the board approve the stipulation and direct Jersey Central to file revised tariffs by May 1st.
So moved?
Second.
Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Crystal Blue,
Yes?
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Baines,
Yes.
and President Boosidoli.
Yes. 2G.
On September 30th, 2024, New Jersey Natural Gas Company filed a petition seeking approval to modify the remediation adjustment and New Jersey Clean Energy Program components of its societal benefits charge. Following review of the matter, the parties executed a stipulation. As a result of the stipulation, a typical residential heating customer using 100 therms per winter month will see an increase in their monthly winter bill of 57 cents. Staff recommends the board approve the stipulation and direct New Jersey Natural to file revised tariffs by May 1st.
So moved?
Second.
Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Crystal Blue,
Yes?
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Baines,
Yes.
and President Boosidoli.
Yes.
You want to
2H.
keep going?
I mean, go. 2H.
On May 31st, 2024, Public Service Electric and Gas Company filed its annual basic gas supply service and balancing charge rate filing. By order dated September 25th, 2024, the board authorized PS to modify its BGSS and balancing charge rates on a provisional basis subject to refund. The parties have now executed a stipulation for final rates, which was approved by Administrative Law Judge Irene Jones. As a result of the stipulation, customers will experience no additional change on their monthly bills. Staff recommends the board issue an order approving the initial decision and stipulation and directing PS to file revised tariffs by May 15th.
So moved?
Second.
Questions or comments?
If I could, just to give you your voice a break, Stacy. It seems like we're just rattling off a lot of price increases for the most part, but I think it's important to know that staff has diligently worked for months to make these recommendations, and that the utilities open their books up to us to make sure that all of the costs that they present to us are just and prudent. So although I know we're just going through things rather quickly, but the process to get here was anything but quick. So Stacy, thank you and your entire energy team, because this is really critical work that you're doing. Thank you.
2I? Yes.
2. Yes.
On November 1st, 2024.
No, I'm sorry, we didn't vote on 2H.
Oh,
Yes.
I need a motion in a second.
Motion, please.
So moved?
Second.
Roll call.
A motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Crystal Blue,
Yes?
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Baines,
Yes.
and President Boosidoli.
Yes.
Okay.
Now 2I.
On November 1st, 2024, PS filed a petition seeking cost recovery of its infrastructure advancement program, electric and gas investments made through January 31st, 2025. Following a review of the matter, the parties executed a stipulation which will result in a typical residential electric customer monthly increase of 15 cents and an increase for the typical residential gas customer of 17 cents. Staff recommends the board issue an order approving the stipulation and directing PSE&G to file revised tariffs by May 1st.
So moved.
Second. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Christopher,
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Page,
Yes.
and President Goldstein.
Yes. Jay?
On June 26, 2024, PSE&G filed a petition requesting approval of changes in its electric solar pilot recovery charge rate. Following a review of the matter, the parties executed a stipulation which would result in a typical residential customer seeing a decrease of 3 cents per month on their monthly bill. Staff recommends the board issue an order approving the stipulation and directing PS to file revised tariffs by May 1st.
So moved.
Second. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Christopher,
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Page,
Yes.
and President Goldstein.
Yes. Okay.
On August 31st of 2023, Broadband Electric Company filed a petition seeking a review of the company's administrative costs associated with its SREC 2 program through December 31st of 2024. As part of the petition, Rockland proposed to maintain its SREC administrative fee of $30 per SREC for calendar year 2024. In December 2023, the board directed that the administrative fee remain at $30 for calendar year 2024 while the parties reviewed the matter. The costs associated with the petition have since been included in the company's Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative petition filed in February 2024. The parties have executed a stipulation resolving the August 2023 matter, which results in no bill impact to customers. Staff recommends the board issue an order approving the stipulation.
So moved.
Second. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Christopher,
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Page,
Yes.
and President Goldstein.
Yes.
On July 31st, 2024, South Jersey Gas filed a petition seeking approval of an increase in its energy efficiency tracker rate. Following a review of the matter, the parties executed a stipulation which would result in a typical residential heating customer using 100 therms per month experiencing a monthly increase of 84 cents on their average winter bill. Staff recommends the board issue an order adopting the stipulation and directing South Jersey to file revised tariffs by May 1st.
So moved.
Second. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Christopher,
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Page,
Yes.
and President Goldstein.
Yes. 2M.
On July 31st, 2024, South Jersey Gas filed a petition requesting approval to revise the rates associated with its transportation initiation clause and 2 components of its societal benefits charge. Following review of the matter, the parties executed a stipulation. Based on the stipulation, a typical residential heating customer would experience an increase of $2.13 per month in a winter month. Staff recommends the board approve the stipulation and direct South Jersey Gas to file revised tariffs prior to April 30th.
So moved.
Second. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Christopher,
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Page,
Yes.
and President Goldstein.
Yes. 2N.
On May 31st, 2024, South Jersey Gas filed its annual basic gas supply service, balancing charge, and conservation incentive program rate filing. By order dated September 25th, 2024, the board authorized the company to modify its rates on a provisional basis, subject to refund. Following a complete review, the parties have now executed a stipulation for final rates, which was approved by ALJ Gertzman. As a result of the stipulation, customers will experience no additional impact on their bills. Staff recommends the board issue an order approving the initial decision and stipulation and directing South Jersey to file revised tariffs by May 15th.
So moved.
Second?
Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Christopher,
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Page,
Yes.
and President Cusido.
Yes?
2-0.
2-0.
On January 27th, the electric distribution companies filed a joint petition requesting recovery of FERC-approved changes in firm transmission service-related charges. Based upon the allocation of these charges, the monthly bill for a residential customer using 650 kWh per month will change by approximately the following amounts: an increase of 19 cents for ACE, an increase of $1.58 for JCP&L, an increase of $3.52 for PSE&G, and an increase of $2.91 for Rockland. Staff recommends the board approve the changes to the transmission rates requested by each EDC effective May 1st. Staff further recommends the board authorize the EDCs to collect from or refund to customers the costs associated with the FERC-approved changes and waive the 30-day filing requirement. And finally, staff recommends that the board direct the EDCs to file revised tariffs by May 1st.
So moved.
Second?
Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Christopher,
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Page,
Yes.
and President Cusido.
Yes. 2P.
2/3 of the state's basic generation service requirements for residential and small commercial pricing customers are under contract for the period June 1, 2026 through May 31st of 2027. The board must determine how the remaining 1/3 of the state's BGS requirements for these customers, as well as the state's annual BGS requirements for commercial and industrial energy pricing customers, should be procured beginning June 1, 2026. Staff is recommending that the board initiate a transparent and public proceeding to determine what type of process should be used for the procurement of BGS RSCP and CIEP supply, as well as the capacity needs of Rockland's non-PJM service area. Staff recommends the board approve a procedural order that would result in a board decision on the process in November of this year and would permit a procurement process in early 2026. Further, staff recommends that the board direct the EDCs to make a filing by July 1st, 2025, describing how they propose to procure this requirement. This should also include a proposal from Rockland for procuring the capacity requirements for its non-PJM service area. In addition, staff also recommends that the board invite all other interested stakeholders to file any alternative proposals by July 1st, 2025.
So moved.
Second?
Questions or comments?
Just one comment. I know you emphasized it in the last statement, but we do want to encourage all stakeholders to provide comments as to, any future procurement.
Thank you. Yeah, just want to underscore first, I echo the comments of Commissioner Christodoulou from earlier. This is an incredible, all of these agenda items today, there is an incredible amount of diligence and scrutiny by not just our staff at the BPU, but also the staff throughout other divisions in government, like Rate Counsel and the Attorney General's office. And we understand that nobody likes to see their rates go up or their bills go up, and we do want to make sure that we are always putting affordability first when we make all of these decisions, and that is something that we are committed to. And so, ensuring that there is safe and reliable service requires infrastructure investments, as I think we have seen previously and certainly seen today with the fires that are happening in South Jersey or South-ish, central, right, central, south. It's so important that we ensure that the utility infrastructure is safe, and that requires investments. And we want to make sure that we are keeping costs as low as reasonably possible, and that we are encouraging residents to participate in the programs that help to lower their bills, not just the direct bill assistance programs, but also all of our energy efficiency programs as well. So thank you. Thanks. Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Cristobalillo,
Yes.
Commissioner Adjustment,
Yes.
Commissioner Benny,
Yes.
and President Bosendoli.
Yes. That was a lot. Do we need a break?
I'm good.
It's only 11 o'clock. We're good. All right. We have 4A. Hi, Val.
Good morning, President, Commissioners. Earlier in executive session, I made a presentation to you detailing the request for selection of Cohen Resnick as our Category 3 Integrity Oversight Monitor for the New Jersey Broadband Infrastructure Deployment Equity Program. An integrity monitor is needed to serve as an important part of the state's accountability infrastructure in developing measures to protect, detect, and remediate inefficiencies in the expenditure of COVID-19 recovery funds, and provide expertise in program and process management monitoring, financial auditing, and grant management, as well as integrity monitoring and anti-fraud services. Per Executive Order 166, which established the COVID-19 Compliance and Oversight Task Force, the state is required to appoint integrity monitors for COVID-related funds. In accordance with this process, an engagement query was issued to the Treasury's pool of pre-qualified monitors under the blanket contract G4018. Four firms were
Okay, so we're gonna have to take a break for the fire alarm, of course. If everybody can just exit safely to the nearest exit, and we will come back as soon as we can. Thanks, the nearest exit, please, and we'll come back before 4A. Like,
Formally.
we'll just get back to Val. Go ahead, Val. You can probably start from the top though, how about that?
Well, good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning again.
Earlier in executive session, I made a presentation to you detailing the request for selection of Cohen Resnick as the Category 3 Integrity Oversight Monitor for the New Jersey Broadband Infrastructure Deployment and Equity Program. The Integrity Monitor is needed to serve as an important part of the state's accountability infrastructure in developing measures to prevent, detect, and remediate inefficiency in the expenditure of COVID-19 recovery funds, and provide expertise in program and process management and monitoring, financial auditing, grant management, and integrity monitoring and anti-fraud services. Per Executive Order 166, which established the COVID-19 Compliance and Oversight Task Force, the state is required to appoint integrity monitors for COVID-related funds. In accordance with this process, an engagement query was issued to the Treasury's pool of pre-qualified monitors under blanket contract G4018. 4 firms responded, and Cohen Resnick was determined to be the most qualified. Staff recommends that the board authorize the selection of Cohen Resnick as the successful bidder under the engagement query based on the Cohen Resnick receiving the highest average technical score from the evaluation committee.
So moved?
Second?
Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Christopher,
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Page,
Yes.
and President Wilson.
Yes. Review, 4B.
Earlier in executive session, I presented the recommendation for the board to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the New Jersey State Library to implement digital equity initiatives funded by the Digital Equity Capacity Grant. The collaboration leverages the strengths of both organizations to advance digital inclusion, enhance broadband access, and provide digital literacy resources across New Jersey. Through this partnership, the New Jersey State Library will support BPU and is administering sub-grant programs to eligible community organizations, including those previously awarded Community-Centered Digital Connect grants, develop and implement digital literacy training programs in coordination with libraries and community partners, organize and oversee statewide digital inclusion initiatives, such as the Digital Inclusion Week and the Digital Equity Forum, and establish a digital inclusion community of practice to share best practices and foster collaboration among digital equity stakeholders. Your approval will ensure that residents, especially those in underserved communities, gain access to broadband services, digital literacy training, and essential online resources. This initiative will play a crucial role in bridging the digital divide and empowering New Jersey communities. Staff recommend that the board approve the MOU with New Jersey State Library in the amount of $14,397,337.18. Staff also recommend that the board authorize President Christine Goulds-Sadovy to sign the MOU on behalf of the board.
So moved?
Second?
Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Christopher,
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Page,
Yes.
and President Wilson.
Yes. 4C.
In executive session, I presented a request to authorize $20 million in our Broadband Equity Access and Development Deployment funding to the Department of Community Affairs to launch the Public Housing Authority Connect pilot program. Through this program developed jointly by BPU and DCA, it is designed to address digital access and equity needs in public housing. It will fund initiatives such as Wi-Fi installation, device access, digital skills training, tailored to the needs of the public housing authorities. DCA will coordinate state-level partnerships and procurement to support multiple PHAs, reducing costs and program administrative burdens. At the same time, the program will support implementation that reflects the lived experiences and priorities of residents, which may differ between public housing authorities. Staff recommend that the board authorize $20 million of the non-deployment
broadband equity access and deployment funding to be dispersed to the Department of Community Affairs for the purposes of launching a Public Housing Authority Connect pilot program. Staff also recommends the board authorize President Christine Goolsbee to sign the MOU on behalf of the board.
So moved?
Second.
Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Crystal Deleuze,
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Page,
Yes.
and President Goolsbee.
Yes. 4D. Elena.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
President, Commissioners.
I think your mic might be off, Elena. There you go.
The Office of Broadband Connectivity staff seeks board authorization to award capital projects funds to 5 subrecipients under the New Jersey Broadband Infrastructure Deployment Equity NJ5 pilot grant program. Reaching this recommendation stage marks a significant milestone, culminating over 2.5 years of dedicated work since the NJ5 pilot program was initiated in September of 2022. This period involved extensive planning, stakeholder outreach, the development of the Notice of Funding Availability, NOFA, and a thorough evaluation process, all driven by the dedicated efforts of the Office of Broadband Connectivity team. I especially want to acknowledge the contribution of key team members whose work was crucial in getting us here. Tina Gupta, who is sitting behind me, our data specialist, provided essential mapping and data analysis that was fundamental to evaluating applications and understanding the proposed service areas. Without her, we wouldn't have been able to move forward. I also want to recognize Rob Valletta, who's also seated next to her behind me, who diligently and effectively took on critical new tasks to advance the complex program. And our new Deputy Director, who couldn't be here today, Robert Judas, who stepped right in and provided immediate leadership and support, allowing for the team to reach all of our milestones to date. Their hard work, along with the rest of the OBC team, has been instrumental. Building upon that essential groundwork, the rigorous evaluation of 22 proposals submitted in response to the NOFA allowed the committee to identify 10 projects proposed by the following 5 applicants as having the strongest potential to meet the program's goals. These applicants were Verizon New Jersey Incorporated, City of Vineland, Salem County, the Borough of Pensgrove, and Connect Holding LLC, also known as Brightspeed. These projects were selected based on their demonstrated capacity to deliver vital broadband infrastructure to unserved and underserved communities, supporting critical needs in work, health, and education. Furthermore, these 10 projects represent a significant investment in the expansion of fiber optic infrastructure into several of the original targeted pilot locations. These include communities within Cumberland County, like the City of Vineland, Salem County, including the Borough of Pensgrove, and Warren County. Verizon's projects will address needs in key urban areas and suburban areas identified in the pilot phase. Crucially, this program also allowed for expansion into Sussex County through the award to Connect Holding Brightspeed, addressing connectivity needs there. This deliberate geographic spread across diverse settings, urban centers, suburban communities, and rural regions like Salem, Sussex, and Warren counties is important because it ensures the benefits of affordable high-speed internet reach more residents statewide. By funding these projects, we're tackling the digital divide head-on and ensuring New Jerseyans have access to essential online resources for employment, healthcare, and education, regardless of their location. Therefore, staff recommends the board authorize the award of capital projects funds to these 5 subrecipients to implement the 10 approved projects under the NJ5 program, bringing this extensive preparatory phase to a successful fruition.
So moved?
Elena.
Second.
Elena, I want to underscore our appreciation for all of the work on this and actually all of the agenda items for the Office of Broadband Connectivity today. This is really exciting. We are bringing broadband infrastructure to places in the state that have not historically had it, primarily rural communities, and we're also helping to make sure that it's available and accessible and affordable for residents throughout the state. So this is a really exciting day. I know a ton of work has gone into it and a lot of engagement with the federal government. And so thank you, and Val and the whole team. Rob's not here, but thank you all for your incredible and diligent work on getting this done. This is really exciting. Other questions, comments?
Yeah, I'd just like to say, to echo those, but also to let you all know that you just got yourselves to the starting line. The real work starts now. So it was tough to get here, but now the important work starts, and I know you're capable of adding up to it, so great work. I'm looking forward to the results. It's gonna help everybody.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Christopher,
Yes?
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Page,
Yes.
and President Lucidoki.
Yes, thank you. 5A, Dean, welcome back.
On April 4th, 2025, New Jersey American Water Company filed a petition with the board seeking approval, among other things, of an agreement between Hopewell Borough and New Jersey American Water Company pursuant to the provisions of the Water Infrastructure Protection Act. Staff recommends that the board retain this matter for hearing and designate a presiding commissioner. Staff further recommends that the board set a bar date of May 9th, 2025 for the filing of motions to intervene and/or participate.
So moved?
Second.
Questions or comments? I think it's me, right? Okay. Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Christopher,
Yes?
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Page,
Yes.
and President Lucidoki.
Yes. Thanks, Dean. 8A, Alexis.
Morning, Madam President, Commissioners. Evaluation, measurement, and verification, or EMV, is the study and analysis of energy efficiency, or EE, and demand response program performance. It is a necessary process to track and improve program efficacy. Triennium 1 EE regulatory framework envisioned the hiring of a statewide evaluator for SWE to oversee the EM review process. On March 24th, 2021, the board approved a contract for a 3-year contract term to begin on July 1st, 2021, and on April 17th, 2024, the board approved a 1-year extension and budget modification of the SWE contract. As discussed in executive session, staff recommends that the board approve the contract extension with respect to the SWE contract, subject to treasury approval.
So moved?
Second.
Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Christopher,
Yes?
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Page,
Yes.
and President Lucidoki.
Yes, thank you. 8B.
Good morning, Madam President and Commissioners.
Morning.
This matter involves the award of a contract in response to the request for quotation for a program administrator to manage New Jersey's clean energy program. The clean energy program consists of energy efficiency and renewable energy programs. The board approved the release of the RFQ on October 23, 2024. The RFQ was released on November 1, 2024, and bid submissions closed on January 24, 2025. Staff formed an evaluation committee that reviewed and scored each proposal. Staff's recommending that the board award the contract to the selected vendor as discussed in executive session, subject to treasury approval.
So moved?
Second.
Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Christopher,
Yes?
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Page,
Yes.
and President Lucidoki.
Yes, thanks, Lee. 8C. Henry's back.
Better than ever.
Second that.
Madam President and Commissioners, to effectuate the goals and statutory objectives of the New Jersey Clean Energy Program, staff recommend the board approve the award of a contract for marketing and advertising services, which would be funded from the FY25 New Jersey Clean Energy Program budget, marketing and program evaluation lines, subject to Treasury approval. The specific terms of the award were discussed in executive session.
Yeah.
So moved?
Second.
Just want to say how excited I am about us, getting back into doing marketing for our programs. We often talk about the programs that we have, as clean energy programs, and that they are, but they also provide residents, businesses, municipalities, school districts with a lot of opportunities to lower their costs while also supporting clean energy. So it's really important to have a marketing contractor on who can help to, talk about how important these programs are, not just in supporting clean energy, but also in lowering bills for customers. So I'm really excited. Thanks, Henry.
Thanks, credit goes to the team.
Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Christodoulou,
Yes?
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Page,
Yes.
and President Gosley.
Yes. Thank you. 8D, Dr. Stewart.
Good morning, Madam President and Commissioners. This matter involves the release of a request for quotation to hire a contractor to provide administrative, planning, reporting, and pilot development support for the Grid Modernization Forum, which has the overall goal of modernizing New Jersey's electric distribution grid. The RFQ sets the base term of this contract at 3 years, with the option to extend by up to 1 additional year upon mutual agreement between the board and the contractor, the details of which were discussed in executive session. Board staff recommends that the board approve the release of the RFQ, subject to Treasury approval, to hire a contractor to provide administrative, planning, management, documentation, and pilot development support for the forum.
Thank you.
So moved?
Second?
Questions or comments?
Yeah, I'd just like to say what a really great and important job grid modernization is. When I've traveled around the country, everyone's finding ways to increase capacity and to try and improve and to make the modern approach to whether it's different composite materials or whether it's different dynamic line ratings or topography. This is really something which is as close to a silver bullet, I think, as we could find, because I think this will solve a lot of our problems. So you and Paul are doing such an amazing job. Please keep up the good work, and through your efforts, New Jersey will lead the country as we always do.
So much.
Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Christodoulou,
Yes?
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Page,
Yes.
and President Gosley.
Yes. Thanks. Dr. Watson. AE.
Good morning, Madam President and Commissioners.
Morning.
Morning.
This item regards the third solicitation of the Competitive Solar Incentive, or CSI program. The CSI program is open to qualifying grid supply solar installations, grid supply solar installations in combination with energy storage, and non-residential net metered solar installations with a capacity greater than 5 megawatts. By order on April 17, 2024, the board issued awards totaling 310.21 megawatts of solar generation and 80 megawatt hours of grid energy storage in the second solicitation of the CSI program. No bids were submitted in 2 of the 5 competitive tranches in which projects could compete. Tranche 2, grid supply on the built environment, and Tranche 4, net metered non-residential projects greater than 5 megawatts. The solar awarded through this second solicitation is still the most cost-effective for ratepayers ever awarded in New Jersey. In the April 17th order, the board directed staff to perform an evaluation of factors that contributed to low competition in tranches 2 and 4, and to make any recommendations on tranche adjustments before the next solicitation of the CSI program. Based on extensive stakeholder engagement on barriers to participation and an analysis of obstacles in the second solicitation of the CSI program, staff recommends changes to the CSI program for the third solicitation, including, first, that the board establish and maintain a consistent pre-qualification window for future CSI solicitations. That the board expand tranche 2 to allow grid supply projects on open land in industrial and commercial complexes, extractive mining sites, and floating solar projects to compete with built environment sites. That the board decrease the capacity on tranche 4 in the upcoming solicitation to a total of 15 megawatts, and that the capacity of other tranches be adjusted accordingly so that the solicitation target remains 300 megawatts solar generation total and 160 megawatt hours of paired energy storage. And 4, to align the CSI program maturity requirements with changes made in the PJM interconnection process so that the Phase 1 system impact study replaced the completed feasibility study as the accepted maturity marker from PJM. Projects evaluated using a feasibility study, such as those projects in the expedited process, may still use this as a maturity marker. Staff does not recommend that less mature projects, such as those in PJM's Transition Cycle 2 group, that have not completed the Phase 1 system impact study, be allowed to participate in the third CSI solicitation. As per the Solar Act of 2021, the competitive solicitation structure of the CSI program aims to ensure that projects are awarded at the lowest cost to New Jersey ratepayers, with incentive values reflective of current market conditions and suitable to provide a long-term guaranteed incentive for developer investment. The Solar Act of 2021 provides the board the right to establish confidential, predetermined price caps for any or all tranches prior to the close of the solicitation. Confidential price caps serve as a protective mechanism for ratepayers against excessive incentive levels in the event of low competition. Staff recommends that the board establish confidential price caps for all tranches in which projects will compete during this third solicitation of the CSI program, based on an assessment of market conditions. Staff recognizes that the different project types per tranche carry different costs and revenues and has sought to balance the developer's ability to seek a viable incentive with effective ratepayer protections. To do so, staff recommends that the price caps differentiate among and be specific to the 5 tranches in the CSI program. Staff recommends that the board consider utilizing the mechanism adopted at NJAC 14:8-11.10J on December 18, 2024, to evaluate and, if warranted, make adjustments to any confidential price caps before the close of the solicitation window, so that bid evaluation may proceed supported by the most up-to-date economic data and allow for successful bids. Staff recommends that the board set the solicitation window for the third CSI program solicitation to open for pre-qualification applications on May 14, 2025, and close to bid submission on July 23, 2025 at 11:59 p.m. Staff recommends that the board maintain the solicitation target of 300 megawatts of solar generation and 160 megawatt hours of paired energy storage.
Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments?
I have a few if we have a moment or two. This agenda item is of particular interest to me, and it's very important, not just because of this particular agenda item, but because of the way decisions are made. And I understand that dissenting opinions are not common, and quite often, and unfortunately, discouraged. But as the president has said to me many times, we can agree to disagree. So I take that as her consent for my dissent. And although it may not make my life any easier, it is with the ratepayers' interests that I present my dissenting opinion today. I totally believe in the promise of solar energy and what it provides to us. It is a valuable source of clean, renewable energy that will help power our economies and take our societies to unknown heights. From large-scale infrastructure projects to small community-based initiatives, solar is proving itself to be an obvious choice for the modern world. Sunlight, in fact, has been a tried and true source of life and energy here on Earth for quite a while, 4.5 billion years. Converting it to electrons is a little bit newer. But with that, with the full expectation that the sun will continue to shine for the foreseeable future, we hope, we are wise to put this burning mass of fusion energy to work for us. But how to best put it to work is my concern. My firm conviction is that free market capitalism and creative innovations are the best ways to develop and improve products and services. Constraining mature industries by keeping them tethered and dependent on external subsidies ignores the full capacity of human ingenuity, market forces, and competition. And it passes that financial burden onto others, in this case, ratepayers. I clearly have my opinions on pricing, both in theory and in practice, along with its growing unease about its impact on ratepayers. I will not discuss those financial specifics at this time, or the many financial models that I have provided which show divergent conclusions. But rest assured that they were discussed and most often ignored. What I will discuss is what this process has revealed: a very shielded managerial process. For 25 years, I have taught management and organizational behavior, and I was consulted for numerous corporations and turnarounds. Unlike most of my graduate classes, I won't bore you with theories of the firm, group dynamics, organizational structures, or reporting mechanisms. But what I will say, unabashedly, is that seeing the pitfalls of organizational inertia unfold in front of me, even though I have offered detailed explanations as to the detriments of such behaviors, is disconcerting to say the least, and it doesn't help New Jersey ratepayers. I have made my opinions known on many occasions over the last year and a half, and I continue to observe that outside opinions, including mine and others, are dismissed and marginalized. This flawed internal process worries me deeply. Many times I have seen that expected results drives the analysis, reinforcing expected conclusions and garnering support from senior staff. The overwhelming certainty of this short-sighted methodology concerns me, while the lack of transparency, two-way communications, and a palpable aversion to outside inputs troubles me. There seems to be very little interest in entertaining contradictory opinions of colleagues, regional analysts, or federal experts. This won't help the solar industry reach full maturity, which after 25 years should be well on its way to self-sufficiency. It doesn't help ratepayers benefit from clean solar energy, and it doesn't help us achieve our climate goals. Those very important objectives, industry innovation, affordable rates, and decarbonization, cannot be achieved through habitual adherence to predetermined end results, no matter how noble the goals. They can only be achieved when competitive market forces are free to innovate, gain efficiencies, drive down prices, and increase adoption. And those goals require mutual respect and open dialogue. A process that welcomes and encourages open debate is the foundation of progress. It is very hard to have confidence in the results that a closed system provides. Without confidence in our process, without the proper level of communication that every organization should encourage, without the transparency that I expect, without confidence in the process that impacts millions of people and billions of dollars, I am unable to support this agenda item. And I would hope that future efforts include a more inclusive and collaborative approach so that policy goals can be achieved and ratepayers can be protected. So Madam President, I apologize, but I'll be voting no on this item.
Well, Commissioner, as you noted at the beginning, I think agreeing to disagree is okay. Not every outcome is going to be unanimous. We've certainly had a lot of dialogue about this particular agenda item over the last several months, and we can't always come to a unanimous position, and I think that's okay. I think what we do know about solar and competitive solar and large-scale solar is that it helps to bring costs down for ratepayers by providing the necessary generation that we need, which at this time is even more important than ever. And so, I think that's important to acknowledge as we move forward with bringing all new generation online, that there is a price suppression implication, and that's really important for customers as well. So thank you.
And if it were a free market transaction, I would agree, but it's clearly not.
Okay. Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Kuzinlu,
No.
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Bange,
Yes.
and President Kuzinlu.
Yes. Moving on. Thank you, Dr. Watson. 8F. Matt?
Good morning, Madam President, Commissioners.
Good morning.
This matter addresses the proposed FY25 budget true-up, budget reallocations, and program changes to the New Jersey Clean Energy Program. The FY25 NJCP budget was approved by the board on June 27, 2024. Budget was established in part based upon an estimate of expenses expected to be incurred during fiscal year 2024. Once actual expenses become known on an annual basis, the board typically approves a true-up budget, truing up for the difference between the expenses estimated for budgetary purposes and the expenses actually incurred. Consistent with that practice, and now that all expenses actually incurred during FY24 are known, board staff is making a true-up recommendation which results in an additional $79,299,661 available for the NJCBP. Additionally, a review of the FY25 first quarter program expenditures shows that some program spending is tracking above and some below the original projections. Other program budgets have been adjusted due to participation levels, previous encumbrances, and timeline changes. Therefore, the proposed true-up budget also suggests redistributions to align budgets with program performance and other initiatives. Following the release of a proposal for the draft true-up budget, revised budgets, and program revisions, staff held a virtual informational session on the proposed true-up budget and program revisions. Public comments were accepted through March 28, 2025. Staff have reviewed and considered the comments received. In addition to the distribution of the available funds, staff proposes reallocations among programs to align budgets with program performance. Further, staff updated the detailed budgets accordingly and revised the CRA, the DCE, the Charge Up New Jersey, and Comfort Partners compliance filings to reflect previously approved developments and board actions. Thus, staff believes the proposed changes to the NJCP budget presents a reasonable approach to maintaining the NJCP programs throughout the remainder of the fiscal year. Staff recommends the board approve the proposed FY25 true-up, revised budgets, and program changes.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments?
As we've spoken about before, I'd just like to encourage, entertain the idea that some of these extra monies be returned to all ratepayers, and possibly including a line item veto that we could have. On the whole, this is a good true-up, but I think we can do better, even as we discussed in different briefings. We have been considering better alternatives. We have some time to do it before the next year. Matt, please let's start that process early.
So,
Thank you.
And that is certainly our intention for the fiscal year 26 budget. I do want to acknowledge we have, had these discussions about the fiscal 26 budget, and we'll continue to do that. The importance of doing the residential energy assistance payment at a time when LIHEAP federal funding is at risk for the lowest income customers it really can't be understated. So while I agree wholeheartedly that for the fiscal year 26 budget, we should be looking at every possible way to return funds to all ratepayers. I think especially now with LIHEAP in the situation that it's in, it's important to recognize that the lowest income customers have the greatest energy burden. So thank you. Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Christopher Lu,
Yes?
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Bain,
Yes.
and President Roosevelt.
Yes. Thank you, Matt. Dr. Morgan. Sorry, I missed the come on down announcement for you. Dr. Morgan.
Madam President
HG.
and Commissioners, this agenda item involves the expansion of the Community Solar Energy Program, or CSEP, updates to the program resulting from the one-year review of the Community Solar segment of the Administratively Determined Incentive Program. Community Solar enables utility customers to participate in a solar energy project that is remotely located from their properties and receive guaranteed savings on their utility bill for their participation. Community Solar enables access to clean energy for utility customers unable to install clean energy generation at their own properties. The BPU developed the CSEP with a focus of ensuring that low to moderate income customers can access community solar, and that community solar development is pursued without materially compromising the preservation of open space and protected lands in New Jersey. The board established a permanent CSEP and proposed program rules on August 16, 2023. The board opened megawatt blocks for each of the state's electric distribution company areas in 2 capacity allocations totaling 500 megawatts for energy year 2024 in November 2023 and May 2024. So far, 376 community solar projects have been conditionally accepted to the program, and 3 of the 4 EDC blocks have reached capacity and close. On January 24th, 2024, Governor Murphy signed L 2023 C200 into law, increasing the goals of the CSEP to 500 megawatts during energy year 2024 and 250 megawatts during energy year 2025. Staff now recommends that the board allocate an additional 250 megawatts to the EDC capacity blocks in the CSEP and ADI program to meet the requirements of the statute. Staff recommends the capacity reopen to new registrations on April 30th, 2025, and that projects be accepted into the program in a similar manner as in the previous allocations. Board staff conducted a stakeholder meeting for a one-year review of the CSEP on December 2nd, 2024, and solicited stakeholder comment with a list of questions for input regarding the performance of the first year of the program. 17 sets of comments were received. Based on input received, program performance, and updates to economic modeling, staff recommends updating the incentive that community solar projects receive in the ADI program from $90 per megawatt hour to $80 per megawatt hour for projects that register on or after the effective date of the board order. Staff is further recommending a few changes to the program that will be detailed in the board order. These are with respect to the community engagement and subscriber acquisition plan, interconnection applications, and municipal automatic enrollment projects. Madam President and Commissioners, adding hundreds of megawatts of new community solar in the coming years will bring the benefits of clean energy and hundreds of new jobs to the state. Staff recommends the board approve the changes to the community solar energy program.
So moved.
Second.
Thanks, Sawyer. I think everyone who's heard me speak knows how important I think community solar is. But I just want to highlight, first of all, the great work that everyone put going into this, of course, but also the importance of community solar and helping to reduce costs for everyone. It is a program that is open and available to all utility electric customers, and so they should be taking advantage of it because it can help you save a significant amount on your electricity bill. And of course, the importance of investing in clean energy can't be understated. So thank you. Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Crystal Baloo,
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul,
Recused.
Commissioner Baines,
Yes.
and President Musadova.
Yes, thanks, Sawyer. 8H. Catherine.
Good morning, President, Commissioners. This item addresses Attentive Energy LLC's January 23rd, 2025 motion to stay the enforcement and suspend the obligations until January 25th, 2026 of 2 specific requirements included in a board order approving Attentive Energy 2's 1342 megawatt project as a qualified offshore wind project for which a board order was issued on January 24th, 2024. The motion requests that the board maintain the status quo by staying enforcement and suspending the obligations of 2 requirements imposed by the board, which are Attentive's initial commitment security requirements and the second unpaid portion of the RMI fee requirements. Board staff recommends that the board approve Attentive's motion to stay enforcement of the January 24th, 24 order until January 24th, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments?
Comments, please.
Yes, please.
Madam President, my fellow commissioners and staff, the Board of Public Utilities has done everything it could to make offshore wind happen. Unfortunately, the current federal administration is not in favor of it and has done everything to stop it by implementing political and regulatory hurdles. It is my opinion that we need to pivot and focus on storage, solar, energy efficiency, and other ideas that can help reduce energy prices for all ratepayers. Even if offshore wind was possible in the future, we would have to start the bid process over due to tariff war in place, uncertainty of future pricing, supply chain issues, and investment monies to support it. Thank you.
Thank you. Other questions?
I think Commissioner Baines brings up some very, very valid and good points. So I've had similar concerns, and Catherine, we've spoken. I just want to go over a couple of things which were guaranteed to us in board meetings. That this will not cost New Jersey anything. And if there's anything I'm saying wrong, to stop.
That's correct.
that it doesn't impede any other generation or interconnection in any way.
It does not.
It does not require any PBI or transmission upgrades at this point in time. Does not allow for a price increase. I don't want to relive the comments I made about a year and a half ago about tyrannical oversight, but that's still in place. I'm giving myself a stay on that. So those comments, I'm giving myself a personal stay on those comments. They're still in effect. They are not getting any price increases. And the concern that remains is, does this set a precedent in terms of us going beyond certain dates? And because this is their first stay in Invenergy, did not get another stay on this. So I don't think it shows a precedent-setting policy by the board. It doesn't cost New Jersey anything. It doesn't hold up. I'm hopeful, but not entirely optimistic, that this can get done at some future date. I share Commissioner Bain's concerns. I thank you for sharing those. But if all of those things I mentioned are accurate, then for another 6 months, I guess I'm okay to let it ride.
And just echoing some of those sentiments, just to affirm, this is just a stay of enforcement of two very specific obligations for a duration of time, and nothing further, no modification to the board order, and no additional edits to anything else that's outstanding.
That's correct. The intent is to simply stay the enforcement of those two specific items in the order.
Thank you, and I think, I also have some of the same concerns, particularly around the federal administration's support for offshore wind. Obviously, the administration at the federal level has shown that there is not a lot of support. We're not an interest in seeing projects move forward. I have limited amount of optimism, but I am hopeful that there will be an appreciation and an understanding, just like this administration has in New Jersey, of the importance of offshore wind. Not just for clean energy, but because, as Commissioner Christodoulou pointed out earlier, we need more generation and we need large-scale generation, and we have that in offshore wind development, not just in New Jersey, but in the entire Mid-Atlantic and Northeast region. So, I do hope that there will be a reversal of position at the federal administration, and I think staying for now on this project is an important way to understand that we appreciate the importance of offshore wind, and so thank you. Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Christodoulou?
Yes.
Commissioner Edu?
Yes.
Commissioner Bain?
No.
And President Boosidou?
Yes, thank you. 8I, Dustin.
Good morning, Madam President and Commissioners.
Good morning, Dustin.
The United States Department of Energy provides federal financial assistance and technical support to the states for energy programs through the State Energy Program. This program seeks to promote the efficient use of energy and reduce the rate of growth of energy demand through the development and implementation of specific state energy programs. For program year 2025, the state of New Jersey will receive an allocation of $1,656,220 in federal funding. In accordance with state energy program requirements, staff proposes a state energy program plan, or SEP plan, for submission to the Department of Energy. The SEP plan includes $1,656,220 in new funding and $1,565,500 in existing funding to continue supporting the BPU's energy and water benchmarking program. The SEP plan also includes $1,565,500 in existing funding to continue a set of electric vehicle programs for non-IOU customers established in program year 2023. Staff recommends submission of the 2025 to 2026 SEP plan application to the United States Department of Energy. Staff also recommends that the board authorize staff to submit future requests to the US DOE to extend the performance period, true up market title budgets, modify market title descriptions, or remove market titles of the SEP plan if necessary.
Thank you, Dustin.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Cristobalou,
Yes?
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Bain,
Yes.
and President Gosadola.
Yes. Thank you, Justin. 8J. Kathleen. Oh, you're way back there, Kathleen. Thought you left us.
No. Good morning, still.
6 more minutes.
So this matter concerns filings resulting from the board's October 23rd, 2024 order adopting minimum filing requirements that require the state's investor-owned electric distribution companies to file medium and heavy-duty electric vehicle charging plans. Each of the state's EDCs filed their plans on February 27th, 2025. Staff recommends that the board retain the petitions for hearing and designate commissioners to preside over each matter. Staff further recommends that the board direct that any entities seeking leave to intervene or participate in any of these matters file the appropriate applications with the board on or before May 14th. And any party wishing to file a motion for admission of counsel do so concurrently with motions to intervene or participate. Staff further recommends that the board require that any response to motions be filed no later than May 21st, 2025.
So moved?
I think we need a commissioner designation too, right?
Yes, you need to.
That Commissioner Abdu is going to be designating for all 4 of these. So- Thank you, Commissioner Abdu. So, okay.
Happy to oblige.
Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Cristobalou,
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Bain,
Yes.
and President Gosadola.
Yes. Thank you. Thanks, Kathleen. We have a late starter to close us out for the day. Bob, feel free to keep it short.
I will endeavor to do so.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
President and Commissioners. Late Starter A is here before you today as part of, and we've talked a lot about it today, the ongoing efforts to address serious concerns about electric service rate impacts generally, as well as those specifically stemming from the PJM-based residual auction from last summer, in which the per megawatt day prices increased approximately tenfold. Since then, at your direction and through the efforts of staff, this board has vigorously advocated for reforms in the capacity market at PJM and elsewhere. And while some progress has been made, a lot more remains to be done. The staff shares your concerns about the potential impacts of the capacity market prices and how they will affect customer bills in New Jersey. And we're bringing this recommendation here today in an effort to mitigate the immediate impact of these high capacity market costs. As you know, these market prices make their way to customer bills in part through the state's annual BGS, Basic Generation Service Auction. And we saw those impacts come through the auction that was conducted this winter on February 12th, when the board certified the results of the auctions. Based on those results, customer bills are going to increase approximately 17 to 20%, depending on the distribution company and where the customer resides. And we know these price increases are coming at a time when usage also increases, which can strain finances for families and put affordability out of reach for some customers. While we only have limited authority over the pricing that comes out of the auction, we've been working hard to identify options to reduce this price shock that's scheduled to hit customer bills and to manage these cost increases. Therefore, staff is recommending that the board direct the EDCs to file petitions with the board, providing distribution side proposals to mitigate bill impacts to residential customers during the high usage summer months to come. These proposals should include, but not be limited to, proposals to defer those impacts, And all of their proposals must include all of the supporting calculations for transparency purposes. In order to get these proposals implemented before the start of the 2026 energy year on June 1st, staff is recommending that the petitions and supporting documents be filed on or before May 5th. And staff further recommends that the matter be retained by the board for hearing if necessary, and to designate a hearing officer, again, if necessary, should hearings or other procedural rulings be necessary.
Thank you.
So moved?
Second.
I'll volunteer myself for that one, since Marion took off for the other, though we may not need it. Questions or comments?
Obviously, Bob, we've spoken extensively over the last few hours on this. And this is a critical issue, and it's an interesting path that we're going down. As we've discussed, and I'm sure it's obvious to everyone, there are a lot of details that need to be worked out in a very short period of time. May 5th is around the corner. We really, 2 weeks basically, for them to give us a full-blown plan. I would recommend that the EDCs coordinate with each other. I don't think it's a good idea to have one EDC give one plan to people, to their customers, and then another one different. I think this has to be statewide and coordinated, and there are obviously a lot of unintended consequences that can come out of an effort like this. All good and well-intentioned, but I could see that this could lead to some other issues, and it hinges on being able to educate our ratepayers on how to save money in the long run. That whole plan has to be ready in 2 weeks for us to take a look at. What is their long-term marketing plan? How can we get people to do something that we've been talking about for years? Turn the lights off, turn the heat down in the winter, turn the air conditioning down, save energy and economize. We have been unsuccessful. It's unfortunate that the higher prices may be the only thing to incentivize people to do the right thing, but we have to make sure that this message goes statewide and very coordinated approach, because if not, this is just kicking the can down the road to everyone's detriment.
Thank you. Certainly we understand that the timeline to turn around these proposals is short, and we appreciate the utilities, putting their pen to paper and getting a fulsome proposal that benefits customers. Our goal is about benefiting customers first, mitigating the costs of the impending June rate increases. Understanding that that there are some things that are outside of our control. There are some things that are within our control, and where we have the ability to help mitigate customer costs, I want to make sure that we are always doing that. I have been spending a significant amount of time since becoming president looking at what other states are doing so that we can ensure if there are opportunities to lower costs for residents, that we are exploring those and taking advantage of all of those opportunities. And certainly New Jersey has been a tremendous leader in areas like community solar, which does provide a significant affordability component. But it's okay for us to follow other states that are doing smart things to help mitigate customer costs. And so I have spent my time here making sure that I'm looking at what other states are doing and considering all possible ways that we can make these prices more affordable for our customers while still supporting the clean energy future that has been so important to the governor and to myself. So thank you very much. Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Chris O'Donnell.
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul.
Yes.
Commissioner Bain.
Yes.
And President Wilson.
Yes, thank you. I think that wraps it up for today. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day.